at 6 belong to Truth Be Told. And Miss Walker is, what is hers, Mr. Walker? Tuesday at 2. So, I mean, you know, I know our Tuesday lineup, put it like that. I just know I have to jump in and catch some things on Monday. But if you're interested in a show, please email KUAW985@gmail.com. What am I missing? Oh, our ongoing station fundraiser. Here's one thing. You go to KUAW.org. And I don't know if they are able to do it since we're Zooming in from our homes now. But there was normally a tab somewhere, it might still be there on the video that you're watching, where you can click donate. Those donations go to ongoing station fundraisers and upgrades, ongoing station fundraiser for our upgrades. I will say this, your donations, your quality donations have made it to where he can still do all of the things that need to be done and Zoom. And we can Zoom from home, and my lighting ain't as good here as it is. You know, if you go back and look at some of our earlier shows, the station has truly grown. And we appreciate all of your donations, and your donations are tax deductible. So I'm so excited for today's show, y'all, because we're ending out Women's History Month. I mean, Women's Month, not Women's History, Women's Month. Hey, Miss Walker. And we're ending out Women's Month with a bang. And I love this. And I love the fact that we're ending out Women's Month with school board candidates for the Kansas City and surrounding suburban areas. Because my guests don't know, and I will let them introduce themselves once we get done with Dos Minutos with Jorge. But I was a school board candidate. In 2011, 2012, I ran for Kansas City Public School District, 5th District at Large candidate. And so I know what these ladies are going through. I know the publicity that they need in order to be successful. When George told me, I was like, book them. Because you don't get it if you don't have a whole team of people behind you. You know, you're often overlooked, and you're up against these people who have this machine that is pushing them through. And I am gladly using my platform to give these amazing women and some moms of the actual students that are in the district that they are running for this platform, because I was a parent running to make a difference in my child's school district. So I know what they're dealing with, what they're up against. We have Miss Rachel Russell, and we have Miss Ebony Osby, and we have Miss Tanisha. Is it Tanisha Ford? Is your first name Tanisha?
Yes.
Okay, Miss Tanisha Ford. We're going to get to our candidates shortly, but first we're going to do Dos Minutos with Jorge. What you got for us, son?
Well, you know, the main topic has been of discussion, the performative situation with George Floyd's trial, the trial investigation of his murder. I will say you're innocent until proven guilty, but in my eyes, this is all performative, and we know the results. So be mindful of that, because that litigation process and anything that happens thereafter will be something that we all will be feeling the rectification of. So be mindful of that. I also would say be aware of what's occurring in Jeff City. There's a lot of House bills that are being pushed. One of the House bills was particularly encouraging more funding going towards charter schools versus going to public schools. And since tonight we're talking about public school boards, it is definitely an affinity space where we need to be aware of. We don't want to take money away from one piece to pay to another piece, because at the end of the day, everybody needs the same funding. And so we need to make sure we have equitable funding happening, occurring across all of our districts, regardless of charter or public. That is my stance. I won't go anywhere else, because we have board members here that can actually say their stance as well. The last part is just be aware of all the events that are occurring. I know that there's a lot of community-led events, a lot of different activities to be a part of. If you don't know any and you feel like, hey, I really want to be there, I want to be a part of it, I can tell you on Thursday, usually from 1 to 3, there is a food distribution at Mount Sinai Missionary Baptist Church on 36th in Brooklyn. Usually happening every Thursday from 1 to 3 is like clockwork. So you can go over there and support.
Wonderful.
And then Unity Temple Southeast also does food distributions as well. We are not out of this pandemic. We haven't made it yet. And so all of this is happening in a pandemically safe way. Another organization to support is the Village KC as we get off the ground, and we are planning actually distributing food to families doing delivery in the near future. So I hope you all are looking out for the volunteer opportunities as well as the opportunities to feed your families. That's Dos Minutos with Jorge. I really am excited to be here tonight. All three of these ladies I have a connection with, whether it be going to Black, BLAQUE, and being a part of the candidate forum together, getting the full understanding of the landscape of politics and getting awareness of what it looks like in the Kansas City education scene. Me and Miss Osby actually attended high school together. She's a product of Kansas City Public Schools with me from Southeast High School. You know, we got to shout out the Knights. And so every one of the people that we have here tonight, and even Candace, has a student that would be eventually a part of the school district for the district that they're running for. And I say that because we do have some people that only have a 2 and a 4-year-old. So they're getting ready to hop in. We want to make sure that it's appetizing for them to be there. And I'm going to be quiet. Good night. I'm here. Love it.
Thank you, son. George Fuller, Jorge. We say Jorge, so y'all will remember at the polls. Jorge Fuller, Fuller, Fuller for the people. Thank you, son. I appreciate it. I'm just as excited as you are, though, too, because like I said, I was a mom who ran for school board. So we're going to start. We're just going to go across the screen and then down. So we're going to start with Rachel Russell. Rachel, give us your name, what you're a candidate for, and your quick introduction.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having us. And thank you for allowing me the opportunity to come on your community radio. My name is Rachel Russell Henderson, as you'll see it at the polls. I am running for board candidate for Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools, USD 500. I am excited, just like you. I am a parent first. That is my day job. I am a community engagement manager in my day job, but really I am an advocate for people, regardless of your background or where you come from. I am a very untraditional candidate, as I am a single mother of 3. I am hardworking. I am a millennial. And so I am just out here to share that people are the key and the way to get our schools better.
Absolutely.
I have a few nerves. I don't know why. I feel like I'm in good community right now, but I feel like my nerves is getting the best of me too. So unlike the election that's taking place next week, KCKPS school board election will take place on November 2nd of 2021. But it is important to me to get my name out there, to be present. So get to know me, ask me the tough questions, but also in this time of COVID, it's going to take a few more unique ways to interact with individuals. And so I'm starting as early as I can. And I am excited about the community support behind me.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you being here. We really do. And it is beautiful. I have some questions for you all once everyone does their introductions. So Miss Tanisha Ford, please tell us about yourself. Tell us the platform you're running for and give us a short bio.
Yes, thank you all so much for allowing me to be in community with you all tonight as well. I am in the final stretch, y'all, the final leg of my race. Exactly 1 week away are the elections for Kansas City Public Schools. So I am super tired, but I'm a runner. And so what I feel like right now is I'm in that final leg where you are just exhausted and you got nothing left to give, but you got all these people that are rallying behind you and you got to dig deep in order to get to the finish line. So that's where I am. I'm running at large for the board of Kansas City Public Schools. I do live in the 5th district as well, but I'm running at large. And so I am I'm a wife. I'm a mom of 2 kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. My 4-year-old is starting kindergarten in August. He's going to be attending Holiday Montessori. And so I'm really excited about that. I love Kansas City Public Schools. Most of my education, kindergarten through 8th grade, took place in KCPS. And then my family moved to Raytown. That's actually where I graduated. But I'm just a public school girl, public school graduate. I love KCPS. My husband, my parents, all these people that I love are from the district. And so I see the growth that we've experienced over the last few years, the incremental growth, but I see the potential for us to do so much more and so much greater to strengthen our school district. I am not a politician, never considered myself before probably last year, never considered myself interested in being a public servant, but I was inspired by the last election cycle and just the dopeness of Black women that I saw and kind of what happens when we rally together and mobilize. It really just pushed me forth. Starting the process of applying for kindergarten for my own kid was really stressful to me. And I think that I'm a person who is, I can access different resources if I need it. And I was stressed out. And so it just really made me think about all of the other parents and family members in our community that don't have that voice or whose voices haven't been amplified. And so I want to use my experience. I've worked in the education arena for about 16 years, and I think I bring a very unique perspective, and I just want to share that in order to help strengthen our school district. So that is why I am choosing to run, and at large is the seat that I'm seeking, and I'm currently running against an incumbent, which brings its own set of challenges.
And I do know about the incumbent runs and the set of challenges. So
we got to talk about it.
Woo, Jesus. We're not going to talk about mine because everybody in the city, when it's done, they was like, they stole that election from you. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. So, it's okay. Don't be upset, y'all. It's all right. Just let me, like you said, and I understand what y'all are going through because it is draining. I need everyone to understand, and I'm going to bring Miss Ebony in, but y'all need to understand that when you don't have a machine behind you and you are running for candidacy and you're an excellent candidate and you're trying to get your name out, it is exhausting. I thank all 3 of these women for taking of their time to come onto this show. And that's why this show is dedicated to these 3, because they took of their time. Y'all don't realize they don't have the time to do this. They really don't, but they're making the time to do this, and I appreciate it. So Miss Ebony Osby, please give us your name, the office that you're running for, your candidacy, and give us a short intro about yourself.
All right. So thank you again for having me tonight. It's an honor to be on here with these lovely ladies. Thanks for the connection with Jorge as well. So again, I'm Ebony Osby, and I'm running to be on the board for the Hickman Mills School District, which is also HMC1. And a little bit about myself. I'm a Northwest graduate. I'm a Bearcat. So I'm also a Knight. So that was first, Southeast Knight. And that means dear to me because my mother and her sisters graduated from Southeast as well. So it's a family alumni. And so in saying that, that is one of the things. So I live in South Kansas City. I graduated from college 2013. And ever since then, I've lived out in South Kansas City in the Hickman Mills and surrounding area out here. And so my kids, I have 3 children, 2 boys that are kindergartners and a girl who's in 4th grade. And they attend Hickman Mills schools. And so my initial thought was I want to get involved. I'm already in PTA, but how can I get further involved? Because my daughter, she loves her school. She loves her teachers. And so how can I get further involved? How can I help make decisions so that we can stay in this school district and help better it and help it become the potential that it has? And so I signed up, and just like Ms. Ford stated, I didn't even realize that how politicky, if that's a word, this is. I thought, the lady said, do you have a campaign manager? Do you have a GoFundMe? I said, this is what I'm doing, huh? And So I'm a Christian, and I heard God on my way out the door say that it is going to be hard, but I can do it. And so here I am running this race. And so not for just my kids, I have tons of family and friends that are in this school district. So I'm running this race for all kids. We are invested in this district to see it become its greatest potential. It has it. We just got to pull it out. Everybody has to, get a little push. And I think this district needs a push. I've been out canvassing for the past month, and there's so many. One of the things that I want, my slogan is community starts within. And that has been proven to be true. There is so many resources inside of this district without us even having to go out that I ran into a man that wants to provide for financial literacy to the high schoolers for free. Who wants to do? He wants to do this. And so just finding those resources, I want to make it my job to find those resources, apply those resources to help this district become the greatest that it can be. And again, not just for my kids, but for all the kids. And so here I am, exhausted like Miss Ford, but still running.
I appreciate y'all. And I want to say something before, because she kind of hit on my first question for everyone. I think all of them did, but I'll let them expand a little bit. And we're going to try to keep it, because we're only a 45-minute show. So I want to get all of y'all answers in. But she one of the things that you don't know, because you graduated in 2013 and I'm much older, graduated college. My children were in the Hickman Mills School District from 99 to like 2003, 2004. And back then, it was an amazing district. It was an amazing district. And to see what it became right when we moved into the city, because we needed a bigger house, to see what it became right when we moved out, it was heartbreaking. Because one thing about it, they produced, I will give Hickman Mills, because early education is very important. I have a daughter, my daughter, she went to Harold Holiday, P3, P4. And then we took her to Hickman Mills, because that's where we bought our home. And she went to Hickman Mills all the way up through 6th grade. And then she came in to Kansas City School District. She graduated #1, master's degree program, 2 years. She completed a 2-year program in 9 months, Columbia University. She was their speaker in 2019. This is what good education does. And she's a public school student. And when I tell people that, I'm like, yeah, they have this, I can't say President Obama's nickname that they have for him, because it's exclusive to Columbia University students. But she stood on the same platform she did. So the fact that we have mothers, and we have people who attended public school, who are running for public school office, y'all need to get behind them, because this race is so hard for them because they don't have the machine. Trust me, the people who have the machine they're smooth sailing. They ain't worried about nothing, because they figure they got it in the bag. So this is from a former candidate I ran in 2012 for 2012 at-large school district for Kansas City Public Schools. And I need everyone to understand, everyone who's watching, everyone who's listening, I need y'all to share this video, #1, so that they can hear what these women have to say, so they can see their names. Share the video, and then text people their name with the candidacy that they're running for. Text it. Share their every post about this. If you can, here's the secret. If each person can get 18 people to vote for them, to vote for these candidates, each 18 get 18. All you're doing is voting now. Come on now. It ain't like we asking y'all to give them $1 to their campaign. All we ask you to do is, when you go in there and vote, 18, each person get 18 people, and each of the 18 get 18. We can switch the school board around. This is a platform that I really didn't have back then. We didn't have Facebook Live. We didn't have a lot of stuff. I think they had KUAW, but I wasn't on there. So I'm gonna stop my ranting, because this is personal for me. But here we go. Here's my question. I'm gonna ask Rachel, and then Tanisha, and then Ebony. What sparked you to run for school board? What was the spark that said, I'm going to do it? I'm going to go through, because I know y'all all had the process where you had to gather the signatures to get your name on the ballot. What kept you pushing when you felt like, forget it, throwing away the petitions? What kept that going? Rachel first.
Yeah, well, in Wyandotte County, we don't have to petition for names, but I can speak to what kind of triggered me. And I would say that my trigger in this moment was that growing up, I did not go to KCKPS, but I went to another school district within the county. And that same school district, when I moved into KCKPS boundaries, they didn't have the things that the other district in the same county was able to provide. And so for me, here we are trying to raise world-class citizen students, but yet they don't have the same opportunities of similar kids within our district. So one district has a STEM classroom. One district, KCKPS, STEM is an optional thing. So for me, that's personal. So I want to be able to give my kids the best, set them up for the world-class opportunities that come. And as we know at that time, my now 15-year-old 10th grader, she needs to know how to utilize those things. She needs to have access to STEM education. She needs to understand how to operate a computer. But that was not something that was being taught in the classroom. So for me, that's how I got involved with PTA. And the PTA raised funds to create a STEM classroom at the school that she was attending at the time. So for me, now making it to this point, it has been a lot of the voices of parents that are not heard, those that have given up hope, those that have decided that the district is going to do whatever the district wants to do. But what I am trying to reinstill is that we can trust the public school system. We have the voice, we have the power, because at the end of the day, there's one word in all of the system that comes back to us, and that's public. So we, the public, get to choose who sits at those tables. We, as the public, get to decide what type of education we provide our students. So I am really here because I saw some inequities within the county that my kids attended. And I continually hear voices be silent, or the voices are at the table, but they don't feel empowered to speak up. And so what have we done in our public school system that has made it unable for other parents to raise their voices and feel confident in raising their voices? And that's why I'm here.
Okay. And I have a question. I'm going to read some comments real quick before I get to you, Miss Tanisha. Miss Walker, hey, Miss Walker. Jamar said, hey, Chef, hey, son. Love you more. Jillian Rainingbird said, Rachel for school board. Yes, Rachel for school board. Jillian Rainingbird said, Rachel is awesome and a very engaged parent. Awesome. Cornell Ellis said, woo. Cornell Ellis said, Tanisha. And Cornell Ellis said, keep running, fam. Jillian Rainingbird said, Tanisha has been putting in that work. Excellent work ethic. Chantel Hill said, greater things are coming for KCPS. Oh, Miss E. No, he's not. He's currently not running for anything. So Jorge will be running, but he's currently not running for anything. But I wanted to say this, and I was listening to your speech, and I need everyone to know, and I need you to go back in. Everyone, go back in and read all documents for your districts. And I'm not just talking to the candidates. The parents are not just the parents. The students are not just the students. The community is not just the community. We are the owners of the school district. Let me get that clear. And I was taught this by a multi-millionaire jeweler who started a charter school in Kansas City. He sat inside the school. My daughter attended his school. He sat inside the school, and I was talking to him about things that were going on, and you know, he sat on the school board, of course, but he was like, you guys are the owners. Why do you beg? He made a point. He said, as the owner, he doesn't call and talk to, people who he can't reach. That he doesn't do the micromanaging, but he will send out an email or a letter or something to get his point across. We as owners need to learn to utilize the fact that we are owners of our school districts. Every single person, the community, the parents, and the students. The students are the owners because without the students, there is no money. And we need to learn to utilize and start threatening with the Sunshine Law. So once you begin to start utilizing and empowering your ownership, then things will change. But they do things the way they do things and put people in and do what they want to do because we don't know we owners. How many owners are not going to go to their bank and check their bank account? It's the same with the school district. So Tanisha, what I want to make sure we keep it short because we got to get everybody in here. What empowered you to keep, because you had to collect signatures, and I know how many signatures you had to collect. So what empowered you to keep pushing even when you got to that point you was like, forget it, you want to throw them signatures out? What empowered you?
The thing that empowered me the most, I think, through it all was definitely just thinking about students and thinking about families. I've used the kind of tagline, but it's certainly more than that to me now. And it's our children, our future, our priority. And I think that they are just that. I've been out and about grinding for the last 3 months, starting with the signature process and then starting to actively campaign. And I have been surprised at how little the conversations have had to do with children. I think about a lot of the forums that I've participated in. Like, there have been forums where we have talked about everything else but children. And I'm like, wait a minute now, we're talking about models, we're talking about how this entity is impacted, and never are we talking about kids. It might be one question about kids. And so I think just thinking about that, it was like, look, we have to have somebody on this board who definitely represents what the majority of our district looks like. And so I like to start there. We need to definitely have that parent voice on the board because I believe it's also lacking. And we need to have some people who are going to be at this table who actually care about our kids, who are not okay with just leaving things status quo, being complacent. And we need to have somebody who's willing to always make sure every single conversation leads back to our children. Because if we're not talking about that, like, what are we doing? It's distractions. And so the kids, I think, have definitely been my main priority in navigating the last few months. But also when I think about it from a parent standpoint, I say that when I decided to run, I am a mom of 2, but my children were actually not my greatest inspiration in this. And I say that because my kids are going to be okay because I'm their mother. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way. I mean that I'm going to advocate for them. I'm going to have the capacity, if I need to go up to the school every day for whatever reason, I'm going to do that. I'm going to reach out to whoever I need to reach out to make sure that they have what they need. I know that there are so many students and so many parents who don't have the ability, the capacity, the trust, or even the desire to do that. And so I think my greatest inspiration was actually all of those parents and those families whose voices haven't been heard, who just don't trust the school system. And I wanted to be a voice at the table who was always going to have those folks in mind. So when I've gotten tired, when I've been at the forums and they haven't been talking about children, I make sure that I always circle back and make sure that that's what our conversations are about, because that's what it's about for me.
Thank you so much. And you are absolutely right about people focusing on everything but the children. But that's why I was telling you all, I don't know if they caught it on air, but the school board is the most powerful political position in any city. A lot of people don't know that. And I was taught that by, thank you very much. We know him as Mayor Wheeler. A lot of people around the United States know him as Senator Wheeler, Charles Wheeler, who our airport is named after. When he and I had a one-on-one on the phone, and he was like, you are running up against, he said, it's not just you running for school board. You're running up against a whole lot of people who have a whole lot of money invested in this thing, and they will do everything in their power to make sure you don't win. So you have to grassroots your campaign to get those who are like you to vote for you. So I thank Mayor Wheeler for that, that we had a long conversation, and he just really gave me a lot of information that, was beautiful that I did not know. Ebony Osby, she's doing Hickman Mills, and I am so excited for you doing Hickman Mills, because what I left and what it is now, it's heartbreaking to see. So tell us what keeps you going, what inspired you to keep pushing to get your name as a candidate, despite it all.
So I'm like Ms. Russell. I did not need to get signatures to become a candidate. Kudos to you, Ms. Ford, for that, because I didn't even know that was a thing. So you go ahead, girl. So I'm like her. And so, like I said, this is a small little, we're just going to go with the initial empowerment. I'm going to just be transparent for a moment. I was just like a few of the other parents in this community. I got to move my kids out of the school district. I got to get my kids out of the school district. This is not a good school district. My babies need a better education. We're going to move when we're okay cruising through elementary, because like Ms. Ford, I'm going to hold mine down. So they're going to be good. But middle school, we got to get out of here. Well, and that was my mindset. Well, and talking to my babies have been in this school. My daughter's in 4th grade, and she's been in this school since pre-K. She went to Freedom Markley, moved on. She was at Johnson before Johnson closed. We're at Irving now. And so she's grown. She's grown with her friends. She's grown with these teachers. And so to pull her away from that kind of was gut-wrenching for me. And even though it's just a social aspect, and what I'm looking at for her is better educational, why do I have to pull her from that? Why do I have to do that? And so for me, that was the empowerment. Why not just be a part of the solution instead of the problem? Because the problem is that we are doing that. As a community, we are pulling them out because we want better. Why not make this the better? And so that was my mindset, because I don't want to pull her away from them. I got to Southeast late. I came from Texas. And so, Jorge can attest to this, that a lot of them people, I don't have the longevity that they had, because they had came from Blenheim or Pinkerton together. Then they go to Southeast Middle together. Then, and the same out here. A lot of these kids went to Irving. Then they went to Smith Hill. My kid's father went to this district. And then they go to Hickman together. They've been together. So to pull her away from that kind of tore me apart a little bit. And so I thought, just why not be a part of the solution instead of the problem? And so here I am thinking I'm going to sign my name up just to go to some meetings to say yay or nay. And my world was turned upside down when I realized this race was bigger than me. But again, like I said, I did not hear, don't do it. I just heard it was going to be hard, which it has been challenging. But everybody likes a challenge every now and then. So it's been good for me. It's been good for me. I'm learning so much. I'm going to keep pushing. Just like Ms. Russell said, I'm here to advocate and without throwing shade, but unlike some of the other people that I'm running against, I'm a young Black mom. And so I can relate to a lot of the people in this district. So I have, fresh mind. And like I said, I can relate to these moms because I am a mom in this district. And so I want to advocate for them. I want to advocate. I want to be the voice for them. A lot of them don't know where to go for this problem. I've already started helping some people, oh no, you need to email her. She can give you the answer to that. And that's just based on my own experiences in the district and based off of just the knowledge that I have, how to navigate the district. I'm a behaviorist in elementary, so I also know how, the right people to talk to just based on my experience in this elementary setting. So I just want to bring, I just kind of want to advocate for our families, for our babies, for the teachers. And so here I am, and that's what empowered Ebony Osby.
That is so awesome, and it's amazing. And I want to thank y'all so much. My child, I tell people, I just feel like such a slacker now because I had 6 children that I gave birth to that I worked through the school districts, and I was just like y'all. I was in your face. A lot of the kids were like, "You don't work here no more." I was like, "I never worked here." I would be at the school all the time. And the baby's like, Miss Smith, I was Smith then. They were like, Miss Smith, you don't work here no more. I said, I never worked here, baby. I'm just always up here in their face, advocating for y'all, advocating for your parents. So the consistency that I heard from all of you all is advocacy. But number one, raising the standard of education. You all want the same thing. And Miss Ford said it best. Miss Ford said it best. I know my kids are going to be okay. I'm doing this for the kids who I know their parents or their grandparents, or maybe they're in the system. I met so many young people who were in the system that did not have parents. They were foster care children. So who advocates for them? And so this is where and we do have parents on KCPS. And I was actually SAC and PTA and PTSA with some of the parents on KCPS school board. And I'm going to say this, and I don't care who gives it to them, y'all wrong. Because the mess y'all talked before y'all got in office, and then looking at what you did when you got in there, just know, I've been telling everybody, don't vote for you. Because you have not been consistent with what you said when we were sitting up there as parents fighting this school board tooth and nail. You got up in there and they bought and sold you. So I'm going to say this right here, Mr. Walker. He ain't got the button, but Mr. Walker know how I am. But I don't like seeing people use our children as a platform, get to where they want to be because they know this is a position that can get you in. Look at our last KCPS school board president, completely changed his name, went down to Texas and got him a 6-figure job. You get what I'm saying? So this is how powerful school board is. And so y'all are going to hear from me, and anybody, y'all meeting me now, I don't bite my tongue. So I'm just letting y'all know. They are not affiliated with Lyne't. They run their own campaigns. They are on my show. But I want everyone. I'm asking everyone. I don't know why I keep coming up, but I was told get 18 people to commit to voting for these candidates. And each of the 18 commit to voting for the candidates. Ms. Russell, we're going to bring you back. But we with Ms. Tanisha Ford and Ms. Ebony Osby, their elections are Tuesday. So in 7 days, let everyone watching get 18 people. Now you get your 18. You can't focus on what everybody else is doing, but you tell the people, you're part of my 18 people who are going to go vote. Now, I need you to get 18 people who you know are going to go vote. And y'all are looking at the screens. Type their names in your phones. Text it to people. Tell them where, hey, I'm on air, dude. I'm sorry, my son is mama problems, seeing they're cooking and stuff. But tell the people, this is my thing. They're just not on here telling us what they're doing. They need our vote. I am Kansas City Public Schools. I'm not Hickman Mills. So if you're in Hickman Mills, come Tuesday. You start today gathering 18 people for Miss Ebony Osby, and your 18 people gather 18 people, and we can get her in that seat. We need to start tonight. Miss Tanisha Ford, everybody needs to, including the candidates, get your 18. Yeah, I know candidates have more that'll vote for y'all. And y'all challenge the people who will vote for y'all to get 18. You get what I'm saying? Because y'all said more than enough to let everybody know that it's about the children. It's about the quality of education. Here's the crazy thing about it. One thing people don't know, and I need everyone to listen to this closely. When you look at the statistics in Kansas City, I'm going to relate it all the way back for everybody. The statistics of the homicides that happened in Kansas City, Missouri, they said 99.99999% of them went to public schools. And they did not do well in public schools. And our public schools do well up until what? Middle school. And then middle school, all the parents start dropping off once they get in high school. The programs are not there. They only give in football. We grateful, but they only give in football, track, basketball, and what? Volleyball. We have moms sitting right here Ms. Rachel Russell for Kansas City, Kansas School Board, Ms. Tanisha Ford at large for Kansas City, Missouri Public Schools, Ms. Ebony Osby for Hickman Mills School District. We have mothers. Let's get more specific. We have Black mothers, queens. That's why I wore my queen necklace today. We have queens who want the best for our children. My son is a junior. He's about to be a junior next year. He's almost done. My kids are okay. But what about these kids that your kids go to school with? There is a white parent right now whose kid went to the best Kansas City public schools, who their child has been in the grade because a kid they went to elementary school with, they came back to their house and shot and killed them. And this was a kid who was forgotten about, the one who did the murder. They were 18, 19. He came back. I don't know if it was a robbery. We don't know what happened. But this is how bad school districts affect. So when people say me, mine, my kids are fine, you have women who are not doing this right here. They're like, no, because I know my kids is good. But I need to worry about y'all. We need to help the people who don't have help. And so my next question is, what is the main platform? Because they always say you got to have a platform. I have 4. But what is the main platform you want to focus on? And I'm going to go to Ms. Ford, Ms. Osby, and then Ms. Russell. So that's how we're going to switch it up. Go ahead, Ms. Ford.
Yeah, I have several as well, but I will stick to one that I honestly feel is the most important and will always be the most important for a school district, and that's improving student outcomes.
Yes.
When I think about Kansas City Public Schools, there is absolutely a lot of energy that's being put towards us getting to accreditation. And I think that that's important. It will be great for our community. It will be great for our district. But once we receive that accreditation, there's actually not much that's going to change in terms of student outcomes. And
Right.
So I want to make sure that the same laser-like energy and grind that we are putting towards accreditation, we are putting that, we're matching, increasing that same energy towards making sure that we are seeing outcomes improve for all kids at all schools. I think that is the key. We're certainly seeing incremental growth for certain kids at certain schools, but I think our energy has to be making sure that we are working towards improving outcomes for all kids at all schools. There is no surprise to us, and it's not unique to Kansas City area, that our most marginalized kids are having the worst outcomes. Our Black and brown kids, our special needs students, our low income students, worst outcomes across systems. It doesn't matter district or charter. We figured out a way to support and educate certain kids at certain schools. We got to figure out how to scale that, and we are putting our energy towards our kids that have the greatest need, reallocating resources if we need to do that, and if we are serious about it, we will be relentless in addressing improving outcomes for all kids at all schools. And so that is my top priority, thinking about what happens beyond accreditation. When we flip that switch and we get it and we have our huge celebration, what are we doing the next day to make sure we're emphasizing and stressing how are kids learning, how are kids improving? Every kid, every school.
I love it. Thank you. She said all kids, all schools, improving performance. That is what because when you look at, a lot of people don't look at the data, and so they don't know how bad the performance is in certain areas. And then you have your pick schools that they put all the money and the energy and the effort and the TV studios and whatever they want in those schools. But then they don't focus on the other schools. And they're like, oh, well, those kids, because the statistics show that their parents are below the poverty line, or because the statistics show that the school is this percentage of minority or African American, because the statistics. I even learned something in running for school board, that they even rated the schools higher, that and we're willing to give more money to schools that were predominantly non-African American, such as predominantly African, predominantly Hispanic and Latino, predominantly Asian. They were willing to work more with those schools. So we need them to, like you said, all children, all schools. I appreciate that. Improving performance. Thank you so much, Ms. Ford. Ms. Osby, I know you might have multiple platforms, but what is your main platform that you're running for this election come April 6th? Tuesday, April 6th.
So the main platform is the obvious, which would be to gain accreditation. That is obvious, and people have spoke about that. That's the main one. So I'm going to talk about my second main one because I'm just as passionate about that one as I am gaining accreditation. And that is for forging alliances. I hit on that earlier. And by forging alliances, I mean big businesses, small businesses, businesses and resources inside of the district, in this Hickman Mills area, and outside of the district as well. But I think we need to start inside. Like I said, I've been canvassing, and there's so many resources that I have run into. Lady that writes grants for seniors, writes grants for teachers. It's so much stuff already here that we are not utilizing. And we'll hear, we don't have money for this. We don't have money for this. These people want to do this for free because they live and this is their community. Why not let them give back to their community? So that is one big, that's one of my platforms that I want to. And like I said, that also, it brings in revenue for us. It brings in volunteers in these schools. It brings in so much more than just revenue as well. And so a prime example of that, I was not seated at the table when when Cerner came about. However, somebody who sat at that table that represented if somebody was invited to that table from the Hickman Mills School District, should have figured out what can you do for our school district and held them accountable to it. They are building Price Choppers and Taco Bells and hotels. But what are they doing for the Hickman Mills School District? That's internship, that's volunteering. Made it pertinent that they give back to the school district. And so that is just an example of like what type of alliances we need to be forging in order to support this school district, because it's all there. It's there. It's just takes somebody to pull it out, to stand firm, and to advocate for the school district. And so that is one of the platforms that I am running. I want to be part of that change.
Thank you so much. And you said something really, really powerful, because I wondered, because I was already gone when they did the planning for Cerner to buy the land, because a lot of people don't know that originally they were going to put like a Bass Pro Shop there, but the powers that be had their hand in it, didn't want them there. And I'm thinking Cerner might have been talking to some folks years before, because they did a big push against the Bass Pro Shop, which would have bought in a whole bunch of retail revenue. But instead, now Cerner has that land and they built on it. But I was long gone from the Hickman Mills School District by the time all of that came about with Cerner. So you're right, utilizing, and I will say this, one of the schools to do it the best, utilizing the business sector and getting internships and donations for their students, is a charter school here in Kansas City. My children attended it, and my children get money for keeping their college grades up. They pay for them. The ability to go overseas and be over there for 30 days or go to another country, it expands your child's mind and creates in them, and life is unlimited then once they've stepped outside the U.S. and actually lived somewhere. And so things like that are paid for, whereas something like that would have cost us $4,000 to $7,000 out of pocket. So making those connections with people who want to volunteer. I love that you said that, because you're encountering the same thing that I encountered when I canvassed. People would say, oh, I talked to this person and told them I do this for free, and I do this for a living. So, or my company wants to do this, but I taught and no one to get back with me. So I appreciate that you, as a parent, it takes a parent of students in the district to run the school board. I'm just going to say it, because the parents know what's lacking, but it also takes a parent who identifies, and let me remove that word. It also takes a parent who is the same type parent of the most quote unquote I don't even like using negative words when it comes to our kids, but it takes a parent to understand because they live it in order to make a change and to get in there and say, okay, now I know if I move this is going to happen. So let me sit back and think. Because this is going to affect the kids so greatly. Let me see if I do this and this happens. But what if I do this and then I can do this and this won't happen? We right now in our school boards, we have, and this is another thing I'm going to say to parents. Every year, school boards have a budget meeting. Every single year. Every year, Kansas City Public School Boards had a budget meeting. Parents did not show up. They are writing budgets of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they have to give the parents what they ask for, but the parents are not showing up. So we need parents, community members, business owners, church members. Listen, and this is my first time meeting these ladies, but they are awesome because they have the same mindset that I have and the mindset that I had when I was running for school board. And they're not going to get in there and let somebody buy them. Big ups to Marisol Montero. Her last name is something else now, but Marisol got on the school board and she advocated for our kids so much that they silenced her. So y'all get ready for that. She got on Kansas City School Board and she advocated for our kids so hard that they muted her. They literally silenced her, but they could not silence her vote. You might be able to silence her from talking about the school district, and that was when she was on there, but they could not silence her vote. And that's what these women are showing me potential, that they will get in there and they're not going to back down from nobody because they know what our children need. So Rachel, we have a couple of minutes. We have 1 minute. So give us your platform really quick, and then we're going to close out the show. And I'm asking everyone who's watching the show, please share the show, but also get your 18 people lined up so we can get them in office. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, so everything that Tanisha said is so important. It translate right over to KCKPS. My daughter attends the greatest high school in Kansas, Sumner Academy. But why do we not have the same standard that we have for Sumner Academy at the rest of our high schools? Why is that not the experience that we want for all of our district schools? And so for me, that is one platform that I stand on. But most importantly, the one that I came into this conversation talking about is giving parents the resources. We know, or we believe, that parents are the first teacher to a child. If that is exactly true, as we say it is, then why do parents not know their rights when it comes to the special ed department? Why do parents not know their rights when it comes to Title I funding? Why do we create systems where these parents have to, talk to the right people to find out the right information? That should not be what it is. We should be educating our parents. We should be a partnership with our parents. It was mentioned earlier by Ebony that, she was involved with the PTA. PTA has a value that says that a community, school, and family partnership is the strength that guides a district, that guides a school building. And so why is that not instilled throughout our entire district? I don't know. But I'm looking to be that change. Vote Rachel. Come on, November 2nd.
We're short of time. This is Lyne't Gray show, and y'all just got my endorsement tonight. Y'all, I didn't know, and I don't hand out my endorsement to everybody because I'll be like, I might say a lot, but my name means a lot to me. But after talking to y'all tonight, the Lyne't Gray show endorses Tanisha Ford for Kansas City Public Schools at large, endorses Miss Ebony Osby for Hickman Mills School District, and endorses Miss Rachel Russell for Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools. I want to thank you all for taking up your time to come on this show. I want to ask everyone who watched this show, please share this show. Continue to share this show. Get your 18 people. When I get off of here, I'm gonna get my 18 people. And hey, what district you live in? I need you to vote for this person. And so that needs to be the first question you ask. What district do you live in? Do you live in Kansas City, Kansas Public Schools? Do you live in Kansas City Public Schools or Kansas City, Missouri School District? Because y'all ask both questions. Because some people act like they don't know which one is which. They're the same thing. And then ask, do you live in Hickman Mills School District? And then tell them, vote for this person. See their name, vote for them. Just don't even add everything else. Look for their name and vote for them. So this is the Lyne't Gray Show here on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's first global community radio station. I want to thank Mr. Walker, our station manager, and my show engineer, because he keeps the show on air every single week, despite us not being in the studio. I want to thank my son, George Fuller for the people. Y'all have a wonderful, I'm excited about this election. I hope y'all are too. And y'all better turn up and show out for our wonderful, beautiful moms, queens, and candidates. Thank y'all. Y'all have a beautiful week. Joy, love, peace, happiness, health, wealth, well-being, total enlightenment to you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.